So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. When you think that the greatest value in your life is your woman, you are disrespecting yourself, you are disrespecting your God, and you are disrespecting the environment around you that has contributed to your success by giving you what you need from the earth and this atmosphere to empower you to move forward. Now, am I saying you shouldn't value your woman at all? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying when any man decides that the worst fear he has is losing his woman, that man is on a Sympacalypse Now journey. He is on a symptastic voyage. And this is exactly what Russell Wilson has recently come out and said in an interview with a straight face and an open heart. The worst fear in my life is losing my wife, Ciara. The same wife that Future ran away from. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, one of the most egregious things that a man can do to himself to affect his manhood in a negative manner is to convince himself that his manhood journey is incomplete without a woman. Now, see, it's one thing to convince yourself that your manhood journey is incomplete without a woman when you don't have a woman. But it's a much deeper pit when you have a woman and think that losing her will destroy your manhood journey, or at the very least, incapacitate your ability to continue to strive to be the most alpha version of yourself. Being unable to accept the truth as truth about the nature and toxicity of a Jezebel spirit female who will drain your energy so much that you can't see yourself without her. Any man who says he can't see himself without his woman, any man who says his worst fear is losing his woman, any man who says his greatest gift in life that he ever received, the greatest thing he ever got in life was his woman, does not even understand that he is attached to a Jezebel spirit that is draining all of his strength. So he only feels strong in the presence of the woman who houses his strength. This whole thing about feeling complete with a woman, this whole thing about a woman being a completion of you and all of that, man, come on, man, that's hogwash. It's a myth. Feeling responsible for the validation of your woman in such a keen way that you tell her that she's the most important thing in your life is crazy. Unless she was shooting with you in the gym, I don't understand why you would even wrap your mind around that concept. You see, the problem with these men is this. When you define yourself as a man through your relationships with not just your woman, but with people, but especially specifically your woman, what does that say about how you view the rest of your life? This man was a successful NFL quarterback before he ever met this woman. He was well on his way. He was trending in the right direction. But I'll tell you something he hasn't done since he won her. Hadn't showed up in the playoffs. Don't even hardly make the playoffs. Been running for his life. Team has been broken down. Guys didn't mind getting away from the guy because when he got with that woman, she started to drain his masculine energy. So now when he's around the guys, he's not that same guy. Hell, he just got in an interview and tore down his offensive line. Like, no quarterback in history does that. That's something you keep in-house. You don't go public and say, well, my offensive line ain't blocking for me. I'm tired of getting hit so much. The same thing with Patrick Mahomes. These are the type of guys that are being drained, that are having their masculine energy drained by women, but so they act all catty and go online and try to put people on blast and put people on the spot online. It's kind of like a woman, coming online and showing some DMs from you, or a woman taking a picture of you while y'all out together while you tipping out. Your side chick trying to put you on blast. Same thing these guys are doing, running in social media, putting people on blast. But what they're putting on blast is the teammates, the guys they're supposed to have that masculine camaraderie with. Why? Because they are less masculine than they've ever been in their lives. Because they're with women who are draining their masculinity. Who are draining their masculinity. Look at how the guy's starting to dress. Another example is Dwayne Wade. His masculinity is being drained by Gabrielle Union. Hell, every male in his house is having their masculinity drained by Gabrielle Union. But she's a lot older than Ciara. She's mastered the art of draining masculinity. But what Russell Wilson is dealing with is a lower version of that, a lesser version of that. And he's giving in to it freely. Being addicted to a woman validating you will cause you in turn to need that validation, to seek that validation, to embrace that validation, to make that validation one of your lifelines. So you're not the same man without that validation. You're not the same man without that level of engagement to that woman. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter what you have going on. You are not the same man that you were before you got with that woman. And no, she did not make you a better man. She made you a weaker man, which makes you a better man for her and her agenda. Letting women control you never ends good for a man. There's never going to be a positive result for you letting a woman control you. When a woman changes the way you dress, she's controlling you. When a woman starts to change the way you carry you wear your hair, or the way you carry yourself, or the way you interact with people, that woman's changing you. But no woman can change you as a man for the better. Just because you make a couple of more dollars, that don't make you a better man. That just means you made a couple of more dollars. There's some enhancement to your business, but does that make you a better man? No, money doesn't make you a better man. It makes you more willing to freely exhibit the man you are. But we're talking about becoming a better man here. So letting your value be determined by someone who's never been a man, or never even understood what being a man means, it puts you in a position like this. Well, out of all the things in the world, the man could break his back and lose his career. Now, the man could be in the stock market and everything could go bad. The man could be on a perennial losing team and getting his butt tore up every year like he did this year, just getting knocked around all the time, getting sacked more than any man in the past 7 years. He could be that guy. He could suddenly become a journeyman who goes around and makes the league minimum. His team could cut him just because of this offensive line thing. Maybe they won't block for him like Jamie Foxx on any given Sunday. Or Willie Beeman, shall I say. None of those things are his fear. Maybe he loses his son or his daughter. But that's not his greatest fear. Maybe his loved ones pass away. That's not his greatest fear. Maybe he's in a car wreck, paralyzed. That's not his greatest fear. His greatest fear is losing his woman. And according to the statistics in our society, his greatest fear is something that's going to happen inevitably. He has embraced something that's going to inevitably happen as his greatest fear. So he's literally living his life, counting down the days until his greatest fear happens and doing everything in his power to make it not happen. You wonder why Ciara's always smiling all the time? Because she's got a guy who's going to give her whatever she wants, whatever she needs in order to make her stay. And the bottom line is, eventually, probably when he's done in the league, she's not going to stay. All of these athletes, you can pick out a few. Magic Johnson, maybe a few more. who still have the same wives they had while they were in the league. It just doesn't happen very often. Doesn't matter if you are a hothead basketball player who wild out a lot. Doesn't matter if you are a good guy like Tim Duncan. When you're done playing, your greatest fear, if indeed losing your woman is your greatest fear, will come to fruition. So all I can say to a guy like Russell Wilson is, wrap your mind around the concept that your greatest fear is coming down the pike. So prepare for it. Prepare your mind, prepare your heart, prepare your spirit. Because if that's your worst nightmare, boy, you about to have a hard time here in the near future, homie. And be stuck paying a whole bunch of alimony and child support. Never tie your value into your interaction with a woman, especially so deeply that you fix your mouth to say, my greatest fear in life is losing my woman, who is, by the way, another man's baby mama. The symptastic journey of Russell Wilson continues. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.